welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday, and of course, all the time online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. We are here today with a lot of great stuff happening on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to start the broadcast off with a very special announcement that I've been keeping to myself for the last few days here. And I'm excited for that announcement to come up to you in just a moment. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. And on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, you can find over 2,000 broadcasts of Wake Up Call. We are now featured back again on MixLR.com /WakeUpCallDT. So for those of you that remember us from there, we are back on MixLR.com /WakeUpCallDT. So we appreciate you joining us there once again. A lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. As I said, we have a very special announcement that's coming up here. Murph is, of course, going to join me. Welcome to your first week of May, your first full week of May, and of course, happy May the 4th be with you. That's right, it's Star Wars Day here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, so make sure you pay attention to Super Powered Pop, our other broadcast, one of our other broadcasts in the Dan Tortora broadcast media
pay
family.
Attention to Super
Once
Powered
again,
Pop.
Super Powered Pop is going to be bringing you a special May the 4th be with you, so do not miss out on that, as we'll be having some fun with it here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. So like I said, there's an announcement coming up. Very excited about this announcement. Very much looking forward to this, and cannot thank you all enough for your support, for your love, and for everything that we get to do together here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and in the greater Dan Tortora broadcast media world. So the announcement, before Murph comes on here, he's with us, he can hear us, but before that happens, the announcement that we have this morning, which I'm very excited to share with you, is that we have added a partner to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You know that we don't call them sponsors here on the show, we call them partnerships, because a sponsorship might throw money at something, walk away, right? Here you go, we're going to sponsor this event, and we're out. A partnership is where you work together and you build towards something together. You're a family. And the Wake Up Call family has just gotten bigger. I am very excited, very honored, very privileged to welcome the newest member of the Wake Up Call family, who you will be hearing from every week right here on Wake Up Call. So let's bring him in.
Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate, like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse. Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner of the Baked Potato Express. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate, like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse, a food truck battle, Battle of the Wings. I do the state fair. They're ordering from a fresh food truck that is making real food and happy to make it and wants them to enjoy every bite. We season every potato before they go in the oven, and then they bake for an hour, and when they come out, we season them again after we cut them. We use real butter, real cheese, real ingredients, so it's all really good food and people love it. We have a lot of returning customers and regulars that we see very often. The customers really make a big impact, and this is a big food truck community. The events here are super busy. It's like in my blood. I like building things and creating stuff that people love, and me and my friends are the ones that run the truck, so it's we keep it's a tight circle in there, and we have like a family sort of oriented truck, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it, and people love our food, so it ends up making it well for everybody. You can contact the Baked Potato Express at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com or the Baked Potato Express on Instagram or TikTok. We are very happy to be partnered up with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as the exclusive sponsor of the Annoying Moment of the Week. And be sure to try DT's baked potato creation at all of our food trucks. The Baked Potato Express. Let's get baked.
So there you have it, folks, as we're very happy to announce here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora that we have an all-new partner. And for those of you that are just joining us on Facebook, I'm very excited to share this with you as well, because you didn't hear it yet. So we're doing different things on social media. We're releasing things and kind of sending it to you here, sending it to you there. So we're about to do it one more time with this special announcement here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So thank you for being with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. We appreciate you so very much. And of course, with that being said, we have the very special announcement that is coming to you on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. So we were able to share it with you on YouTube. It's now up on X. Facebook is getting it now. So we are putting it all throughout the community and very accessible all throughout your social media outlets. So without further ado, let's make it happen here on the show by bringing you our newest partner in this special announcement. Here we go. Our newest partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is...
Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner of the Baked Potato Express. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse, a food truck battle, Battle of the Wings. I do the state fair. They're ordering from a fresh food truck that is making real food and happy to make it and wants them to enjoy every bite. We season every potato before they go in the oven, and then they bake for an hour, and when they come out, we season them again after we cut them. We use real butter, real cheese, real ingredients, so it's all really good food and people love it. We have a lot of returning customers and regulars that we see very often. The customers really make a big impact, and this is a big food truck community. The events here are super busy. It's like in my blood. I like building things and creating stuff that people love, and me and my friends are the ones that run the truck, so it's kind of, we keep it's a tight circle in there, and we have like a family sort of oriented truck, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it, and people love our food, so it ends up making it well for everybody. You can contact the Baked Potato Express at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com or the Baked Potato Express on Instagram or TikTok. We are very happy to be partnered up with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as the exclusive sponsor of the Annoying Moment of the Week. And be sure to try DT's baked potato creation at all of our food trucks. The Baked Potato Express. Let's get baked.
And as you heard of the newest member of our Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora family, the Baked Potato Express, from owner Dylan Husted, what did he just say? Did he just say that the longest standing segment of Wake Up Call is now presented by, that's right, the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented exclusively by the Baked Potato Express. So every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll be coming to you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as we've done for many, many years. But this time, we're going to be bringing the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by the Baked Potato Express. So the Baked Potato Express bringing you our longest standing segment here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And there was something else that was said, and that's the fact that I will be getting my own baked potato creation on all the Baked Potato Express food trucks, which means you'll be able to order my potato at the Lakeview Amphitheater concert events throughout the summer. You'll be able to order my baked potato creation at the New York State Fair and a bunch of other events, including the Syracuse Food Truck Takeover at Great Northern Mall Wednesdays from 4 to 8 p.m. So when the Baked Potato Express pulls up their food truck in your community in central and upstate New York, there will be a Wake Up Call DT special baked potato. What am I putting on it? You'll find out very, very soon. So, got my own potato happening. The Annoying Moment of the Week has a new partner in the Baked Potato Express, and we have an overall new member of our family on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Thank you to the Baked Potato Express, to Dylan Husted, and everyone on staff at the Baked Potato Express for doing something really awesome, which is be innovative with me, have some fun here on the show, and to expand our reach and who we're going out to, and to do it with a new member of the family is always a great thing to do. So praise be to God first and foremost. And thank you again to, like I said, Dylan Husted, the Baked Potato Express family. And of course, thank you to all of you that already go out and get the Baked Potato Express at all these events. And for those of you that will go out, will try my DT special baked potato and so much more. And of course, all of you that love the annoying moment of the week and love Wake Up Call, this is a fantastic message to be able to share with you as we start off this wonderful partnership. So with that being said, Murph, you now know. So the Baked Potato Express, they make all these baked potatoes. They put different stuff on it: pulled pork, mac and cheese, bacon. They have the sweet potatoes. They do a little dessert potato with the sweet potato. I will have my own now. And they're going to be bringing you the annoying moment of the week, which people that have watched and listened to the show for years, they know that's our longest standing segment of 14 plus years. So what do you think, Murph?
I think it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know me as a very picky eater. I do not eat baked potatoes. So obviously, I'm sure it is a great thing, and people love baked potatoes. I know that. I know my parents do. I won't be partaking because it's not my item of choice, but um, everyone. I know a lot of people love a good baked potato, so that's a pretty cool one to have, and it's cool that they're getting to be the partner for Annoying Moment of the Week for sure.
Yeah, so we got a really cool thing going on here. I mean, obviously, the annoying moment of the week has been here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for many, many years, and to find a partner in the Baked Potato Express is really exciting for me, and I'm really very much looking forward to it. We're making the announcement on our channels right now, so you can go and see all of this as well, as we have been showcasing it all over social media this morning. So you could find us on X at CallDT, Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, and of course on Instagram at wakeupcall_DT, as we have been putting this out, and I continue to put out these messages. So we're announcing it here live on the audio video feed for Wake Up Call, airing the commercial for the first time ever. And on top of that, we're also releasing all of these posts on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram. So you're getting a full-blown experience of the Baked Potato Express here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So thank you so much again to everybody here that supported me over the years. And as we continue to grow, continue to find new ways to reach you and to reach new people in these partnerships, I just want to say thank you to the community of Central and Upstate New York, of course, to everybody up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe, and to everyone that's partnered with us and believed in our mission and our vision. I truly cannot thank you enough for that love and support that we have received over the years. So it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to be doing everything that I get to do, and to be able to bring this to you the way that we get to bring it to you is truly a gift from God. So with that being said, we now jump right into the broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. DT and Murphy coming to you on Mondays and sharing with you our thoughts on the sports world. Murph and I today are going to go to a lot of different places. We're going to start with the NBA playoffs, and then we'll move from there to the NHL playoffs, and then we'll get into the Major League Baseball season. So we're going to give you a full meal, just like the Baked Potato Express, this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here on DT and Murphy, coming to you where sports truly meets that thing called life. So first and foremost, I'm just going to get this out of the way because it makes me sad, but my team lost. My Toronto Raptors forced a Game 7, found a way somehow, some way to Game 7, but unfortunately did not wrap it up. It did not take care of business. They tried to come back late in the fourth quarter, but it was too little too late for the Toronto Raptors. But, you know, the Raptors had one of the greatest shots that I've ever seen in basketball history of basketball at any level, and that was a shot by R.J. Barrett, who took a three, got a pass, took a three when the team was down by 110-109, and took a long three. The ball hit the back of the rim, bounced straight up in the air, out of view, and then fell straight down in. And they won 112-110. That was reminiscent of the shot by Kawhi Leonard, where he was falling out of bounds and he took a three in the corner, and the ball bounced, rolled out, did all kinds of stuff, and then bounced and then went into the basket. And obviously Toronto moved on that year, and that was the year that they won the championship. So the hope was this was going to be another one of those shots en route to a hopeful championship, but Toronto did not finish things off, and that's okay. I mean, they fought valiantly, they did what they could do, and ultimately they were able to force 7 games against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Toronto was the 5 seed, Cleveland was the 4 seed, but the one thing that Toronto did not do the entire series is win on the road. And because they didn't win on the road, they were not able to move forward. And, we all know that you got to win games away from home, right? So they took care of Jurassic Park. They took care of Toronto, but they were not able to take care of anything on the road. And so, unfortunately, they're not moving on. And that's the first series that we'll talk about. So I'm sad this morning, but the fact that I got to announce the Baked Potato Express made me happier. So here we are this morning with the Toronto Raptors. Murph, it's sad for me because those of you that know me, as I open up Rain Body Fuel here, and those of you that watch the show, I love Rain, and Rain is something. This is my choice when it comes to getting the right energy drink here, and this is the newest one. So I have my sour gummy worm, which I absolutely love. This is watermelon sour gummy. So something about these sour gummies I cannot get enough of. So shout out to Rain and Monster. Just wanted to say that. But something happened that I'm not quite sure if it's ever happened before. And that was that Toronto, the Raptors, played in the postseason, in the same postseason that my Anaheim Ducks advanced. So the NHL had my Ducks, the NBA had my Raptors. I believe it may be the first time that has happened because they haven't always been good at the same time. So I was super, super excited to experience that. And we'll talk about the Stanley Cup in just a little bit. But Murph, we're going to start with the NBA because I know Murph loves the NBA. He watches it religiously, all 82 games.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, the reason why
I follow it enough, though.
The reason why I bring it up is because there was multiple Game 7 series in the first round of the NBA after the playing games. So you cannot overlook, whether you're an NBA fan or not, basketball fan or not, you cannot overlook the fact that we had high octane from the opening of the NBA. And I'm talking the play-in games. One of those games went to overtime. A bunch of those games came down to the wire, came down to 1 or 2 possessions. Then we get into the first round of the NBA playoffs, and you got Game 7s all over the place. So I want to start with Toronto and Cleveland and your thoughts.
So really quick, I want to get something off my chest first.
Yeah.
The play-in games
Yeah.
are the single stupidest thing the NBA. Actually, that's not true. The in-season tournament. But the play-in games and the in-season tournament are the 2 stupidest things the NBA has put into place. You are having teams that are a 10 seed correct me if I'm, is it 15 or 16 teams in each conference? Shows how much I watch the NBA.
15.
So there's 30 teams in the NBA.
Yep.
Excuse me. 2/3 of them are having a chance at the postseason by getting into play-in tournament. That's not how sports is supposed to work, folks. You're not going to tell me that a sub 500 team that gets hot and wins 2 games should make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It shouldn't work that way. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Anyway, as far as the Cavs and the Raptors go, obviously the home team won every single game. Mm-hmm. That's always an interesting tidbit when you see something like that. You got former Brooklyn net Jared Allen led the Cavs with nearly 20-20 in points and rebounds, 22 points, 19 rebounds, to lead the way for the Cavs. The Cavs are a team that I think is probably a little underrated. Just when they're able to put out, and James Harden is just a role player. Donovan Mitchell's arguably their best, not arguably, is their best player. He's a guy that can lead a team. And I know Knicks fans were all hoping that Donovan Mitchell would come home to New York because he's a diehard New York fan. I know he's a Mets fan. I'm pretty sure he's a Jets fan too. I'm not sure if he's Jets or Giants. And I believe he grew up a Knicks fan as well. So, people have wanted him on the Knicks forever, and obviously that's not going to happen anytime soon, at least. But the Cavs are a team that's got some veterans, has some good veterans there, and they're hopefully going to be forced to be reckoned with. They're going to get matched up with the Pistons, and they're going to get matched up with the Pistons, who just got taken to 7 games by the 8-seeded Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
That's anybody's series, folks. That is
100%.
It's not one that I'm going to sit here and say, the Pistons are going to sweep them or they're going to win in 5. That could easily go 7 games. And keep in mind, the more series that go 7 games, the more tired these guys are going to be. So if, I'm looking for these, I want to be done with these series in 5 or 6 and be done with it. So obviously we'll get to it later, but, Knicks Sixers is going to be fun too. But as far as the Cavs and the Raptors obviously put up a good fight. They're another, pretty solid team coming out of the East. Wasn't their year.
Yeah.
It happens. It's, you can't win. You can't, it's very difficult to win a championship, folks. Yeah. So the Raptors will be back. It's not like they're, it's not like they're a team that, can't compete or anything. I mean, they got plenty of good players on that roster. So it's a team that, a year from now, they could very easily be right back in the postseason and, looking to make a run. But, Cavs get it done in 7. And, game 7s are, when you're at home, a game 7 is usually a little bit easier than when you have to go on the road for a game 7.
Yeah, I mean, in this series, like Murph said, I mean, the home team won. So the question becomes, how good is Cleveland away from home? Because they look at Toronto and say, well, Toronto couldn't win a game away from home. Well, Cleveland didn't either. So
neither did Cleveland.
So now the question,
they just got 4 home games, and Toronto only got 3.
Right. So
when you're the low seed and you're the team that's got to play the 4 road games, only way you're going to win the series is if you get at least one of them.
Yeah. So I mean that's it comes down to the fact which team had more home games, and Cleveland did, and Cleveland took care of home, seemed to be more comfortable at home, and not surprisingly. But now the question becomes, what can they do away from home? Can they win away from home? That's going to be something that we're going to be yet to see, and we'll find out in their upcoming series with the Pistons. Now, I do want to let it be known that I told y'all about that Pistons series. I told y'all about that series before the series started. I said, do not think just because the Pistons are the 1 seed that they're not going to get pushed by the 8 seed. They will get pushed by the 8 seed. They may get beat by the 8 seed. And the Magic brought them all the way to the end. Again, who had the last home game? Detroit. So you look at these best of 7 series and having an odd number of games, because here you are, if you're the lower seed, right, or however people describe. If you're the lower number seed, but the better seed or the higher seed, this is what gets confusing with people. They say the higher seed, then you think higher number, but higher is better. But then when you say lower seed, confusion. So if you're the team that has home court advantage, like the Pistons as the 1 seed versus the 8-seeded Magic, then you look at it and you say, okay, Pistons got the first 2 at home. Then the Magic got the next 2. Then it goes, if it goes that far, it goes Pistons, Magic, Pistons. So just like in the Cleveland series, same thing. Cleveland's the 4, Toronto's the 5. Think about how close they were. 4 seed, 5 seed. If that had flipped and Toronto's at home in Game 7 and they had Games 1 and 2, Game 5 and Game 7, does Toronto win the series based on the fact that neither one of those teams was winning away from home. So it means a lot when it comes down to it. And in these best of 7 series, the Pistons are at home, they get out of it, right? And then you look at Cleveland at home, they get out of it. So it all comes down to the fact of, sometimes, obviously you got to be the better team, but it's also where you play. And in the case of these 2 series, it really helped out the better seed because they got to finish this thing off. Their back got pushed up against the wall, but then they were in front of their fans at the end of this thing. And so looking at Detroit winning this in 7 games, Detroit, again, being the number 1 seed, I told you all, the Oklahoma City Thunder 1 seed in the West is very different, in my opinion, than the 1 seed in the East, the Detroit Pistons. Because the Oklahoma City Thunder, who just won a championship last season, they're going to try and push toward this thing, and they're going to try and do it all over again. I think that Oklahoma City, who won their series against the Suns, the 1 versus the 8 seed, they won that series in a sweep, 4-0. Nobody touched them. They're the only team in all of the teams that have competed in the NBA playoffs this season. Of all the teams, let's take out the play-in games. Let's just talk about 8 teams in the West, 8 teams in the East. Of the 16 teams that just played the first round of the NBA playoffs, 1 of those 16 teams won in a sweep. 1 of them. No other series ended that way, only the defending champions in Oklahoma City. So you look at Oklahoma City in the West as the 1 seed, you look at Detroit in the East as the 1 seed, and you say to yourself, okay, Detroit looks very shaky, which is what I was thinking. And I was like, man, if Toronto gets to the next round versus the Pistons or the Magic, Toronto could be in a really good footing to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They weren't able to finish it out against Cleveland, but think about whoever's playing the Pistons got a great shot of winning that series. In the other series, the Celtics blew a 3-1 lead as the 2 seed, and arguably the best team in the East, even though they were the 2 seed and the Pistons are the 1 seed, arguably the best team in the East, the Boston Celtics going into the playoffs. And the Boston Celtics, arguably the best team, not called the Oklahoma City Thunder, in the entire postseason. But Jason Tatum didn't play in Game 7. And with Jason Tatum out in Game 7, who won that road game in Game 7? That was won by the 76ers. So we can talk about a team that wins away from home. In Philadelphia winning the game 109-100. So if you look at the East in the first round of the NBA playoffs, Pistons Magic went 7, Cavs Raptors went 7, Celtics Sixers went 7, and the Knicks Hawks went 6. None of those were sweeps, and 3 out of the 4 of them went the total 7 games. There's not a single series in the West that went 7. Oklahoma City beat Phoenix 1 against 8, 4-0, like I said. Lakers Rockets in the 4-5. Lakers won 4-2. Nuggets Wolves in the 3-6. The Wolves won that one, the 6 seed, 4-2. And then Spurs Blazers 2-7. The Spurs won that 4-1. So there was nothing that went 7. Most of the East went to 7 games. That tells you that the East is beating the heck out of each other. But let's go to Celtics Sixers, because the Pistons Magic, the higher seed wins. The Cavs Raptors, the higher seed wins. But when we go to Celtics Sixers, without Jason Tatum, the Sixers find a way as the second worst seed in the East, 7 out of 8, to have to go through the play-in game, the play-in round, just to get into the first round. So they had to play more than these 7 games. Then they have to play 7 games. Now they play the Knicks. Let's talk about the team that actually won on the road in a 7-game series, the Sixers over the Celtics, knocking out what some people thought was arguably the best shot of beating the Thunder, which were the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what hurt the Celtics is losing their best player. You know, Jason Tatum not being able to go in Game 7 because of a knee injury did not help their cause.
Yeah.
They didn't get much outside of in terms of scoring outside of Jaylen Brown and Derek White, but you know, they got some points off the bench. Their starters, like, only 2 of their starters even scored. The other three starters did not score a point in the entire game. Only 5 guys on that roster scored points, which is honestly kind of impressive. I don't understand really how you do that. But then again, they had 3 guys off their bench playing more than the other 3 starters outside of White and Jaylen Brown. But the Sixers earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were down 3-1 in the series. They had to go earn it, and they win Game 5 on the road to get back home. They win Game 6 at home, and then they go and win Game 7 up in Boston. And everybody knows, Sixers Celtics is a rivalry. So Boston and Philly fans were definitely going at it in this series, and it was cool to see. I think the series was fun. I'm definitely looking forward to their next series.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really have any sort of skin in the game, I don't really have a favorite team in the NBA because I don't particularly watch the NBA. As a New York sports fan, I will obviously be rooting for the Knicks over the Sixers because anytime a New York team beats a Philadelphia team, in my opinion, it is a great day. So we will be absolutely rooting for the Knicks in that series and hoping that they can get back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second year in a row and have a chance to possibly have a parade down the Canyon of Heroes in New York City in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, Philadelphia doing what they did, bouncing back the way they had, and they went through injuries too in the series. So, for both of these teams to go through it, Jason Tatum, the thought was going into this season with Jason Tatum's injury last year suffered in the playoffs, the question was, is he even going to be available for the season? At what point in the season? And so some people thought that Boston was going to not be much anything, maybe not even be a playoff team, because they were going to go a significant amount of time without Jason Tatum. And the team ended up finding a way. They got to being the 2 seed. And I think that they probably went higher than a lot of people thought they were going to go, climbing up the mountain this year. So that was huge. That was huge for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto, in its own way, Toronto of that championship team 7 years ago in 2019, everybody's gone. So the question became, what's Toronto going to do? They shed all these pieces. They've moved all these pieces. They don't have these guys anymore. They don't have Fred VanVleet. They don't have OG Anunoby. They don't have Pascal Siakam. All these guys are gone. So Kawhi Leonard. So what are they going to do? And then here they go, and they get in the top 5. They're not in a play-in game. They outright made the postseason. So, I think with Toronto and Boston, they exceeded the expectations that maybe some people had on them. And unfortunately, they don't continue the story going, but just getting to where Boston got to be the top 2 team in the East, and Toronto for making it to the playoffs in general, I think are 2 great stories that shouldn't go unnoticed. There's another story, though, that's here in the NBA playoffs. The one series that didn't go 7 games in the East, the Knicks and the Hawks. The most lopsided first half I've ever seen in my existence. In my life.
I saw that box score. I started crying, laughing. I was like, "Well, I guess the Knicks are going to win."
I thought that this was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I was hanging out with my brother Isaac, and so we're coming out of the thing that we were at. We're coming out of the event, and I checked my phone on the way to the car, and I was like, okay, what type of AI created this graphic? 83-36 at halftime. I was like, is a UConn women's basketball team playing somebody today? 83,
I know.
83-36. The Knicks scored 40 points in the first quarter to 15 by the Hawks, then 43-21. The Knicks did not score less than 23 points in a quarter. They scored 34 in the third, 24 in the fourth. They won the game 140, probably because they went easy on them at the end. They won 140-89, meaning that the Knicks won a do or die back against the wall game 6 against the Hawks
on the road.
by 51 points. Like,
let's go New York sports, baby.
all I'm going to say is Spike Lee, you got to sleep good that night. The Knicks fans got to be all right. Carmelo Anthony and the crew, Patrick Ewing and the gang, everybody in New York City, Madison Square Garden. You're watching this game on the road. Atlanta is in Atlanta. Do or die. The series is 3-2.
I want to know how many people left at halftime.
Yeah, they win. They force a Game 7. They win at home in Atlanta at the Atlanta Hawks playing on their court in their city. If they win, they force Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. And they, at home, in front of their fans, in their own nest, were down 83-36 in the first half, lost by 51 points in an elimination game in the postseason. We're not talking about the Knicks playing the worst team in the East right now. We're not talking about the Knicks.
We're not talking about Knicks Nets.
Yeah, like Knicks Nets, Knicks Pacers. We're not talking about that. The Knicks are in a postseason game. I've never seen this in my life. The Knicks are in a postseason game on the road, facing a team that can tie the series, who a few years ago they faced in the playoffs. And that series was heated back and forth, and you didn't know who was going to take it when Hawks, Knicks saw each other in recent history in the postseason. I remember being down on the beach and watching that game. There was a TV on at the bar, and I could see it. Now that they have the opportunity to face each other again, you say, okay, what's this going to look like? What's it going to be? How's it going to break down? What do we got here? The Knicks absolutely, positively embarrassed the Hawks, who also embarrassed themselves in a game where they lost by 51. I don't understand. 51 points. They lose this game. So if you want to go back and you want to look at the series, okay, just to look at the series for giggles here, we had the New York Knicks going, in the series that we had. I want to go back in time here and just paint the picture for you. The Knicks won Game 1. Now, Knicks are the 3 seed, Hawks are the 6 seed, so Knicks started at home because they are the better seed. Knicks won Game 1, 113-102. They lost Game 2 in the Garden, 107-106. They lost Game 3 in Atlanta, 109-108. So they lost those games by a point. Then the Knicks won Game 4 in Atlanta, 114-98. They went back to the Garden and won 126-97. So you look at these games and you say Knicks won Game 1 by 11. They lost Game 2 by 1. They lost Game 3 by 1. They won Game 4 by 16. And then they won Game 5 by almost 30, 29. And then in Game 6, they said, all right, that's enough. Cut off the head. 51. How does it, and I mean, that's the thing. You think about Atlanta. Atlanta had to do everything they could by the skin of their teeth just to beat the Knicks by a point.
It was like Drago versus Creed.
Yeah, I mean, you
like
look at
beginning of the fight, you know, the Hawks are landing some shots and everything, and then, you know, Game 5 hits and you go, I must break you. And they absolutely flip a switch and just beat the brakes off of them. But kind of entertaining to watch because I don't particularly care for Atlanta sports either.
Yeah, but you look at this and you see it took everything for Atlanta to win Game 2, Game 3 by a point apiece. By a point, skin of their teeth. Win at the end. Just barely. And then the Knicks were like, all right, we're going to beat you by double digits every time, but every time we play you and beat you, it's going to be a little bit more. And then in Game 6, it was like they were playing with them. They're like, all right, that's enough. 51-point victory. By the way, Dylan, the owner, Dylan Husted of the Baked Potato Express, loved the announcements he wrote to me. Tell Murph he would like our potatoes. I wrote back, he goes negative sometimes, and I wanted to slap him. But yes. So, yeah.
If we could make those potatoes into French fries, Absolutely.
All you need to know, now think about this, Dylan, okay, and to everybody out there. French fries are made from potatoes. But
Yes.
because Murph is so weird about his food, the potato that makes the French fry, he can't eat that. But if you cut it up and design it differently and make it look like a fry, you can get him to eat the potato if you show it to him in fry form. But if you simply give him the potato, he can't muster up himself to do it.
It's like eggs. I'll use eggs to make food. Like I use eggs to coat chicken cutlets before I put the breadcrumbs on them.
Yeah.
Or I'll put an egg in my my pancake batter when I make waffles.
Yeah.
I'll put milk in my mac and cheese, but I don't drink milk. I don't eat eggs. So like there's like I don't like cheese on a hamburger, but I use cheese on macaroni and cheese. I eat cheese on pizza. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take a quick step
But
aside.
But I already know I'm weird, so.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick step aside here in the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily? In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And of course, they are with you all the time online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. We made the announcement today that the Baked Potato Express is the newest member of the Wake Up Call family. You can get the Baked Potato Express out at your event by emailing them and giving them the information and seeing if it works by emailing thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com. That is thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com. Of course, you're going to see them out this upcoming weekend at the Food Truck Battle at the New York State Fairgrounds. You'll see them the following weekend for the Battle of the Wings at the Syracuse Inner Harbor. You will see them all throughout the summer in the concert series at Lakeview Amphitheater, and you will also see them at the New York State Fair, as well as on Wednesdays from 4 to 8 in the Great Northern Mall parking lot with the Syracuse Food Truck Takeover. So make sure you don't miss an event that involves the Baked Potato Express, and we appreciate them so very much. And coming up very soon on all their trucks, I will have my own baked potato, which I'm very excited about. And it's my baked potato's name is going to be called Eat It Murph. So with that being said, happy to be here with you inside these Great Lakes Honda City Studios. DT and Murphy starting off the first full week of May. It is May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. I wish I had a little lightsaber, little something like that. But
Well, we could put it there in post.
Yeah, we can make it. I kind of feel like I wanted to do something like that. Have a lightsaber, kind of CGI moment here for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media on May the 4th be with you. But happy to be here with you, happy to be hanging out. When I worked at Walt Disney World, we used to have Star Wars weekends all roped around May the 4th be with you. So it's pretty cool. I don't think they do it anymore, but I'm supposed to be down in Florida this week. So I may have the opportunity to check it out, see what they got. I'm sure there's got to be something because May the 4th be with you. And then 18 days from now, the newest Star Wars movie comes into the franchise, The Mandalorian and Grogu. And that movie could take my prediction from years ago and make it come true. So that'll be cool. So make sure you check that out. And plenty of great stuff to come, of course, as Dan Tortora Broadcast Media through all of our shows covers so many different things, from Super Powered Pop with entertainment, Wake Up Call here with sports, Do Diz with Dan with the Disney side of things and helping you plan your vacation, comic book trails on the road, Two Mics Don't Filter, his and her thoughts on many different topics of life. So make sure you stay close to the Dan Tortora Broadcast Media family. If you go to wakeupcalldt.com, you can order merchandise from all of our shows, from our many shows, as well as the Dan Tortora Broadcast Media headset with the microphone. So you got the mic and the headphones. You can order my clothes that have God Bless, No Stress, Do Your Best on the back. And of course, that online store is all on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage. There's a moving button. So all you got to do is click on it and that'll take you to the store. So make sure you do that. There's also a page called Beyond Wake Up Call that tells you about all these other shows. So a lot of stuff that we're doing with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. We are only at the beginning of May. And we've hit the ground running. We ain't done. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming from Dan Tortora Broadcast Media this year. So very excited to be presenting that to you. Thank you all for your love and support. Shout out to the Baked Potato Express. And appreciate y'all so very much. And Dylan, if you're still watching and listening, the owner of the Baked Potato Express, I'm going to have something with Murph here because Murph is such a picky eater. The next time that him and I bet on something, it's going to be for him to eat a baked potato if I win. So with that,
I don't make food bets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I do not make food bets.
Eater? No, but I got to ask you, because I have picky eater friends, and like Brandon Smith, who also went to Marywood, he got sick on something as a kid, and they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. And so because of something he went through in his childhood, he now only eats like mac and cheese, chicken tenders, fries. Like he eats certain amount, like pizza. He eats certain foods and stays away from everything else. Why are you such a picky eater?
Only God knows that one, man.
Does your mom want to slap you? Because I mean, like,
all the time.
Yeah, okay.
All the time. half the time we'll be home and she'll make food.
Yeah.
I'll ask what she's making. She's making something that I won't eat. I'm like, all right, I'll find something. It's like, I'll come home, I'll make food, or I'll find something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know. I don't try very many different things, and it's like I know there are certain palettes of things that I don't like, that I know I don't like.
Yeah.
So, I'll try different stuff at different times. Like one that you would think is a little weird is mozzarella sticks that I don't eat.
Okay.
I have had them once in my life, and I was blasted, so I don't even remember much about them, but I didn't care. I know I didn't care for them. Yeah. So that was part of the reason I don't really eat those. But like there's some things you wouldn't expect me to eat that I eat, and then there's some things that you would expect me to eat that I don't.
But so is it the texture?
I think it's more of a texture thing.
Okay. Crazy.
I do, personally.
See, me being Hispanic and Italian, like I wouldn't. I mean, listen. This is how I will be as a parent, and this is how my mom is.
Like I won't eat chicken parm. Yeah. Like I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, I won't eat.
I'll eat the cutlets.
Yeah. I won't eat.
Ideally,
chicken parm.
I'd probably eat them with sauce, but I probably would prefer to eat them with ketchup. But
yeah.
I would eat the cutlets. I don't like the cheese.
I don't eat chicken parm because I got sick on it years ago. So there's certain foods that I say.
Was the chicken just undercooked?
it was like frozen, taken out of the freezer. There's something
So
about
it's
the
probably
chicken.
bad chicken.
Yeah, there's something about chicken parm. I got sick on gingerbread cookies, so I don't eat gingerbread. The gingerbread men, I won't eat those with icing. I won't eat tapioca or rice pudding. So there's things that I got sick on that I won't
Fair
touch
enough.
because I don't want the feeling of that again. But I love eggplant parm and all that stuff. But my
The
mom,
one that you cannot ever, ever get me to eat under any circumstances is pickles.
okay, yeah,
Like, I know obviously you work with the Brooklyn pickle, and that's, it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna tell anybody you shouldn't have pickles, but pickles to me are like repulsive. Like,
yeah,
you know how you go to a restaurant, you'll order a burger and they'll put like a pickle on the side I'll be like, I don't want any pickles anywhere near this thing. It's like, no pickles, please. Because even the pickle juice that gets on the bun, to me, I want to throw up. Like, it's just, to me, it's disgusting.
yeah. So you have a texture thing, but
I definitely think it's texture.
So
for
here's
sure.
the thing. My mom would make food growing up, dinner was dinner. So you eat the dinner. And my mom knew I don't like sausage. Like, I'm not a sausage fan. Please don't make me sausage. If you cut it up and put it in something, you may be able to get away with it, but straight up sausage, no. And so she would make sausage every once in a while for dinner. I could not stomach it. Like, I couldn't get myself to eat it. But when my mom made food any other time, it was like, and even that time, she was like, you need to eat this. So I would try to sneak a peanut butter and jelly sandwich after dinner because I was starving. But the families now where it's like the mom makes spaghetti and meatballs, and so here, like, her husband has spaghetti and meatballs, she has spaghetti and meatballs, one of the kids has spaghetti and meatballs, then another kid has mac and cheese from Kraft, then another kid has peanut butter and jelly, then another kid has chicken tender. No. In an Italian household, if you didn't eat what was cooked, you didn't eat.
You don't eat.
That's how life was. You didn't eat. And it's the same thing in a Hispanic household. Like, we make, and that's the type of dad I'm going to be. I'm going to be like, listen, if you're not allergic to it, figure it out. So, like, I mean, that's, and in today's world, seriously, Murph, when we were kids, there was like one person in the room with a peanut allergy. Now, 85% of the room has a peanut allergy. Wild to me. And I'm like, do they really have a peanut allergy, or is it the parents being weird? But it's just strange how these things come about now. Like, if you go to a bake-off, like you go school bake-off, the whatever, and you bring your stuff in, when you make homemade stuff, no flour, no dairy, no oil, no butter.
How are you supposed to make baked goods?
No chocolate.
Without any of that.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I would literally...
Nuts, I get it.
Yeah.
But how can you make baked goods without flour?
I mean, so I would show up with one of two things. I would either show up with a jug full of water and said, this is what you wanted. You wanted nothing. So I'm going to give you nothing. Like, this is it. I'll show up with dust. Or I will show up with cookies that I buy in the store. And when nobody dies from them and nobody has a reaction from it, I can call BS. But this is like, because the reality of it all is, I think a lot of these kids want to eat the cookies, but the parents are like, no dairy, no soy, no that. And like, you think about it.
Gen X parents.
But that's the thing though.
And Gen Z parents,
but
to be honest.
If I was sitting there.
No, actually, no, it's more millennials.
At a parent-teacher conference, and you put me in a situation where I got to go through all that. And I'm like, okay, then we're not making anything. Well, you got to make something. There's nothing to make. You took it all away. You cannot tell me as an Italian, okay, that I can't use flour, I can't use butter, I can't use eggs, I can't use milk, I can't use soy, I can't use chocolate. Like, how are you going to make...
You cannot make cookies without those things.
How are you going to make a cannoli,
That's the problem.
A custard shot, an eclair? How are you going to do any of this stuff? How can you, like, and here's the thing. These kids, they go to somebody else's house. You got Lincourt Bakery donuts. They eat 3 of them. They go home. They don't die. They're like the happiest kid in the world. Mom and dad don't know why they're so happy. It's because somebody finally gave these kids sugar. So that's what it is. So I'm going to be the household that the kids are going to love to come to. That's what I know. Because if you're not, if you're allergic to it, listen, allergies are a real thing. People that think they're fabricated are nuts. Like, I have real, genuine allergies. I got bad allergies to certain things in life. And I'm just not there's certain things that I'm just not, I don't rock with. I can't have a lot of pollen around me. Cigarette smoke drives me, like, it messes with all different types, dries out my throat, bugs my nose. There's things that I have weird reactions to, so I have to keep myself away from them unless I want to deal with something. Dust is really bad for me, and dust is everywhere, but I have to be careful. Like, if there's a dusty carpet and I lay on the carpet with my face on the carpet, my nose for like the rest of the day plugged, my throat's dry. I'll wake up in the morning the next day, I'm still not feeling 100%. So if you have allergies, I get it. Okay? I get it. But if you're like Murph and you don't like the pickle to touch your burger, it's just weird.
Fair enough. But also, don't be like Ted Mosby and have your mom claim that you're allergic to bacon.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Anybody that has watched How I Met Your Mother the last season.
Do you eat bacon?
When I do.
Okay.
I don't like it crispy though. I'll eat it crispy, but I don't like it.
Oh, I like it
crispy.
crispy.
I like it a little bit. I like it softer.
I burn the fat off for me. Burn it off. So you can have flimsy, squishy, greasy, fatty bacon, but you can't texturize the other stuff?
I told you there's some weird things. How did
you
there's
know
some
this?
Things you wouldn't, huh?
How did you figure this out?
I just don't eat stuff.
Do you even try?
I literally just don't eat stuff.
Or you just look at it and not even try. What is it like? You tried it and
basically.
You don't like it, or you just won't?
Some things that I've tried it and I don't like it. That was the pickle. I've never actually eaten a pickle, but just the pickle juice just repulses me. So like that's a hard pass. But like a lot of it's just I have no desire to try it. It's like I eat what I eat. If I could eat steak 7 days a week, I would.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
you know what's funny is when they say
this is why I have learned how to cook things for myself.
But here's the thing that's funny, Murph.
Like if my mom would make something that I don't eat, I gotta make something for myself.
The funny thing is
that's why I learned how to make pasta, like, and macaroni and cheese and steak and all that stuff.
But when people are bland, right? When people are just like, they're like basic, they eat steak and potatoes. The funny thing about you is you eat steak. You eat steak. You won't even eat so you're more bland.
Well, I'll eat French fries with it, but I won't eat like a baked potato or nothing, or mashed potatoes.
It's just so wild. People that are watching here's the thing. We got a split universe. So some people are watching me going, you're 100% right. They're laughing. They're going, this is nuts. You eat what is made for you. It's good food. And then you got the other half of the universe that's sitting here with Murph going, oh, I totally understand. If I have one corn touch my mashed potatoes, I throw the plate out. So like, it's...
I am one to separate that stuff.
So you can't have food touch.
I'm not going to throw the whole thing out though.
Right.
Like, so when I'll go to Texas Roadhouse and I'll get my steak, my French fries, and my corn.
Yeah.
I always typically ask for the corn, for the fries to be separated.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll come on the plate. I'll take them off. The ones that get covered in like the juices from the steak, sometimes I won't eat those because they turn to mush. But like I'm not gonna I'll eat the rest.
Yeah.
There's one thing in this world that I will specifically mix together, and it is lo mein and spare ribs from a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Because the sauce from the ribs put into the lo mein is really good. However, I might have to stop getting MSG in those because I feel like every time recently, when I've been eating Chinese food, my throat gets really, really dry.
Okay. Like
for a couple days afterwards. So I might have to start asking for no MSG in the Chinese food, but it's not going to deter me. It's just more of an annoyance after the fact.
It's crazy. But listen, everybody's got their own. But see, I'm not a picky eater. So unless I really don't want something, like I got to be in the mood for Chinese food. I'm not in the, if I'm not in the mood for Chinese food, I'm not.
Yeah,
touching
no, you
Chinese
you
food.
said you're not
Yeah.
like the biggest
No.
fan of Chinese food.
I got to be in the mood, and if I'm
but
in,
that spot by your place is that place was really good.
there's like 3 spots by me, and they're all good. And when I want it, I'm gonna get it. When I want it, and there's a place that has lo mein that they kind of make the lo mein sauce taste like peanut butter. So good, but it's like liquid, but it's got that peanut butter flavor. I have to be in the mood for certain things. Like I have to be but I'm not picky. So when I'm around picky eaters, I've learned instead of naming 14 places, I just tell that person, listen, figure it out. Figure it out. Tell me where you want to go.
I can typically find something to eat just about anywhere.
Yeah.
I remember we went out for a buddy of mine's birthday late last year, and we went to this Mexican place.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a traditional Mexican place. They don't have like regular tacos.
Yeah.
Like they had like authentic like Mexican food and stuff. So they had like a couple different steaks on there. They had a burger on there. So I was like, let me get a burger. Don't have any more patties. Okay, let me get one of the steaks.
Yeah.
Don't have that either. Like, crap. I was like, what the hell am I going to eat here now? I ended up getting another steak that they had, and they actually had it. It was fine. I think it was a ribeye, and I don't particularly. That's not my favorite cut. I don't like the rib. I don't really like the fatty steaks. I like a little more of a leaner steak. That's why I love filet mignon.
Yeah.
I'll eat a fattier steak, but to me, it's got to be a New York strip because I want them to sear off all the fat.
Yeah.
So that it's at least edible. To me, the fat on a steak, if it's not cooked or if it's not like seared, it's not good. But yeah, like typically I'll find something to eat regardless of where we go. Although that wedding I went to in Europe, that was a little sketchy because it's not like I could go out to eat. It was, I had to figure something out. So like the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah. Did you eat the napkin?
The rehearsal dinner we had beef Wellington. I just took everything around it off and just
wait a minute. No, wait, stop.
Yes,
stop.
That's 100% what I did.
Croissant with the beef in the middle. That's like one of the coolest texturized things ever. There's nothing like it. You
I got
unwrapped
everything
it
off of it
and you
ate
just
the meat.
You ate the beef in the middle.
Correct.
Murph,
I mean, it was just a piece. Like it's not like I
listen.
had the whole thing.
You would get. I want Gordon Ramsay and you to be in the same place at the same time, and I want to.
I wouldn't listen.
I want to.
I would make a steak on the grill, and Gordon Ramsay would call and say he would look at me and say, "You dare not! It's not seasoned correctly, and whatever." And I'd be like, "Gordon, I eat my food the way I want it.
Yeah.
I don't give two craps what you think about it. You're not the one eating it. I am. So I'm gonna make my food however the hell I want it."
Watch me. Watch now. Are you ready? I'm about to take everything that we just talked about food and bring it back to the NBA, right? What did Murph say? Murph said he likes a good New York strip, and guess what the Knicks did? They stripped the Hawks from getting back to New York and getting the victory.
Yeah, they did.
So with the Knicks winning and them sending themselves forward, we got Knicks Sixers, which is going to set up an awesome Northeast rivalry between New York City
can't wait for that.
and Philadelphia. So
let's go Knicks.
that's going to be New York Strip versus Philly cheesesteak. So that's going to be fun. And then
New York Strip 10 days, 10 times a week, twice on Sundays.
I'm just saying. And then we got the Pistons going up against the Cavaliers. We got Detroit versus Cleveland, not too far away from each other. Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio. On the other side of it, in the Western Conference, as I said, the Thunder defeated the Suns, so they will face off against the Lakers, who have woken themselves up. And the Lakers are now moving on with LeBron James and company, Luka Doncic, going up against Oklahoma City. The Timberwolves are the only lower seed that were able to win and move forward as a 6th seed. They'll face off against the Spurs. And if the Wolves somehow make this thing interesting against the Spurs, we'll see what that looks like. But Thunder Lakers will be good. as well. Murph, if you had to close your eyes and you had to pin the tail on the winner, tell me, Thunder, Lakers, Wolves, Spurs, Pistons, Cavs, Knicks, Sixers. Tell me who's going to win each of those series.
Thunder in 4.
Okay.
I think that's an obvious one. What is up with Luka? He's out for I think he's done, right?
So Luka Doncic, who's gone through moments here, unfortunately, there's a question. There's a question here. When will he return? In an updated thing, I'm going to take a look what we have here. So Los Angeles will. So he's still uncertain. Hamstring injury, April 2nd, in a blowout regular season loss to the Thunder. Has not played in a game since that loss to the Thunder. He's missed 11 games. The Lakers went 7-4 without him there, including winning in their series. So he's doubtful to start the series for the Lakers, and we'll see if he were to return in this. He was ruled out for Game 6 recently, and the status report's supposed to come up today on if he's going to be available at any point, but as of right now, he hasn't played for 11 straight games. And then what does this say? Hamstring strain, April 2nd. I'm looking at the updated thing here. So, grade 2, hamstring strain, April 2nd, and he went to Spain for specialized treatment. According to sports doctor Jesse Morse, this type of injury typically requires 6 to 8 weeks for a full recovery. However, with advanced treatment methods and aggressive rehabilitation, the timeline can be shortened potentially 4 to 6 weeks instead of 6 to 8. Now, just over a month removed from the injury, he's rejoined the team but is yet to make significant progress in his on-court activity, particularly in running and 5-on-5 play. So he's not close to returning, according to the doctor. Quote, I think realistically the fastest Doncic could return is Monday, May 11th for Game 4, end quote. So, yeah. So that's
kind of, yeah, like that. I don't, who knows if the season, if they even make it past that. I honestly think the Thunder are just, they're just sitting in cruise control right now. I mean, they sweep the Suns. I mean, they're the reigning defending champions.
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to take care of the Lakers pretty handily. I'm saying 4. It might be 5. Who knows? I don't see them. I don't see them being able to do much there. Spurs, Timberwolves. Again, I really like the Spurs with Wemby. I don't see. I mean, especially it looks like is Anthony Edwards hurt? He might not play in Game 1.
So, yeah, so his status, Anthony Edwards, for Game 1, that's another one that came up, I think, over the weekend here. So,
yeah,
Anthony Edwards, let's look at the update from a few hours back here. So, Anthony Edwards missed the last 2 games with a left knee, hyperextension, and bone bruise, has been cleared for on-court basketball activities. He's questionable for Game 1 of the Western Conference semis against the Spurs. Further updates will be provided. So, yeah, so he has a bone bruise and hyperextension.
I think they're saying now he's a game-time decision, so he might play, he might not. Yeah. The Spurs only finished a game back. Was it a game or 2 games back? So the Spurs finished 2 games back of the Thunder for the 1 seed. The Spurs started the year on a massive heater, and then Wemby got hurt. And then they started to kind of fall back a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as the Thunder go, I was obviously a little bit worried when Wemby went down and hit his head in, Game 2 of that series. But what I didn't understand, though, is that I think he only missed Game 3, and then they won, and he came back for Game 4. How do you come back from a concussion that quickly? Unless it wasn't actually a concussion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing you could say. Because obviously, if they rule him out with a concussion, but he doesn't end up with concussion symptoms, then yeah, you can come back. But, as long as Wemby's 100%, I think the Spurs are going to easily win that series. I got 2 big Wemby cards right now that I'm kind of hoping they win again so they can continue to go up. And I'm talking 4-figure cards.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see the Spurs move on. Maybe even see them go to the NBA Finals. That'd be fun. Pistons, Cavs. I mean, the Pistons just came back from a 3-1 deficit, and Cade Cunningham basically showed everybody why he's one of the best players in the NBA. So to me, I think the Pistons are gonna handily win that series as well. I don't see any of these series going 7 outside of maybe Knicks Sixers,
Yeah.
but I also don't think that series is gonna go 7 either. I definitely think the Thunder are gonna take care of business quickly. They're gonna probably I think they could sweep them. The Spurs could easily win in 5. The Pistons Cavs series maybe goes 6. I would probably say Knicks Sixers. I'm gonna say Knicks in 6, but it could go 7.
Yeah.
Ultimately, obviously I'm rooting for the Knicks. I want them to win. But I do think the Knicks are gonna win this series. I just think the Celtics got themselves in trouble without Jason Tatum, and
Yeah.
the Sixers kind of just went through and they just kind of got themselves in a little bit of trouble. The Sixers came through and won the series when they took advantage of the Celtics. Their guys just not looking great, and ended up winning the series. So to me, I don't see the Sixers winning this series. Sorry, Philly fans. I really think the Knicks are going to go back to the conference finals and hopefully win it this time. Hopefully get to the NBA finals. I know some people that I work with and people that I used to work with are big Knicks fans. Tom, if you're watching, I know you're obviously a huge Knicks fan. So, obviously I'll be rooting for your boys to win this series. But yeah, I think so. To me, I'm going OKC in 4, Spurs in 5, and then Pistons in 6, and Knicks in 6.
Yeah. So Murph given his, I will give mine now for the series. I will start with the top seeded team in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Lakers. I'm going to give the Lakers 1. I'm going to give them 1.
I can see him getting 1. At the end of the day, it's still LeBron.
Right.
Like, as much as I don't like him, as much as I don't think he's the GOAT or anything, you can't rule it out.
Right. So I'm going to say Thunder over Lakers, and I'll say that 4-1. So Thunder over Lakers in 5. And then in the Wolves Spurs series, man, I'd love to see that go 7. But I would say
I would too, but I mean Anthony Edwards is a stud, but I mean if he misses game 1, that they're going to be in a hole already.
so. I'm going to say Thunder in 5, Spurs in 6. Pistons Cavaliers is like a giant toss up. So I'm going to say Pistons in 7. And then I'm going to say Knicks in 6. So
Okay.
I just like the sound of Knicks in 6. It sounds cool. So, but I'm going to go, I mean, obviously more than that. I'm going to say Knicks in 6. That could go 7. I do agree with Murph. But I'm going to say Knicks in 6. We're going to come back and talk about the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs and the fact that one of my teams has got me ringing the bell. Feeling good about the second round. We'll talk about that right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. While we're on break, go to X at CallDT and vote in our polls. Who are you picking to win each of those 4 semifinal series in the NBA? You can vote in just a moment as we're putting it up on the break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Go to X at CallDT, follow and vote right now. That's at CALLDT.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company. With locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. We have a delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to
work every day and get after it every day. And when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Hi, this is Chris Rauda.
And Colleen Rakowski from Gray's Craze of Clay.
It's a fun, innovative, upscale catering solution. We've turned eating into a whole new experience. Each of our boards is packed with delicious mix of artisan cheeses. We use premium cured meats, fresh fruits, nuts, and all of the sweet touches that really bring out the best in every perfect bite.
We offer something as small as a grab and go that feeds 1, maybe 2 people, to our large board that can serve anywhere up to 25, 28 people. So we have the ability to really meet and hopefully exceed all of our customers' expectations when it comes to the different varieties of things that we have.
Charcuterie boards or boxes are healthy, fresh, delicious. They're made to order. We're baking the breads here daily. We're baking the cookies here daily. All of our dips are homemade, made in-house. All of our spreads are all made in-house.
When you open that board or box that we have delivered or you have picked up, we want you to know that it was made with care and designed to completely elevate your event, celebration, or meeting.
We've catered parties and events for up to 300 people. So if you're walking in to grab something for lunch or something for date night or movie night, that's great too. Our events go from you eating in the car on the way home to a catering event in a rehearsal dinner or cocktail hour or party.
When we do, again, know what the event is, specifically for a wedding, we like to schedule tastings so the bride and groom can come in and see what we have to offer, and we can then, as we talk, to try to understand what they're looking for, what the venue's like. We do like to have that one-on-one interaction when it comes to catering bigger events.
Our address is 4599 State Route 31, Suite 5, in Clay, New York. We're on the corner of Route 31 and Henry Clay at Clay Marketplace.
You can order on the phone by calling area code 315-409-4171 or online at grayscraze.com/clay-ny. Come visit us at Gray's Craze of Clay, New York,
where we want you to celebrate everything.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food at our pizza pub. That was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're gonna have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Happy to be here with you, hanging out where sports meets life. And in this first full week of May, hanging on with Murph here for a little bit. We got about a half an hour left here this morning with you where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Of course, we announced this morning a very special announcement here on the show, and we shared it on our social media. So there's multiple posts that are on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT to go with the announcement here live on this broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora that our newest family member of Wake Up Call in our community of Central and Upstate New York is the Baked Potato Express. The Baked Potato Express, owned and operated by Dylan Husted, who will be out at the food truck battle this upcoming weekend, which is going to be May 9th and 10th, or I think it's 8th and 9th.
Food truck battle. That sounds awesome.
The food truck battle. So they're going to be out at the food truck battle at the New York State Fair. Following week, that following weekend, the weekend of May 15th, they will be at the Battle of the Wings in the Syracuse Inner Harbor. They're also going to be at the Lakeview Amphitheater for concerts all throughout this beautiful summer season. You will see them at the New York State Fair. You'll see them on Wednesdays from 4 to 8 p.m. in the old Great Northern Mall parking lot with the Syracuse Food Truck Association. So many great things going on with the Baked Potato Express. And, of course, they are now the exclusive partner who presents to you the annoying moment of the week here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And I will have my own baked potato creation, so make sure you stay close to our social media as I'll be announcing that soon. I'm pretty confident I know where I'm going. So I'm excited about what is to come, and it will be a play off of the fact that we are named Wake Up Call here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So just make sure you stay close because we'll be announcing that soon. But shout out to our newest family member, the Baked Potato Express. Happy to have you. Speaking of Express, the team that ran through their first round in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche, they Express mailed this one home 4-0. They won their best of 7 series against the Kings, the number 1 against the number 4. There's little pods we have that are in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So a little bit different. You don't see seeds 1 through 8. You see pods of 1 through 4 and 1 through 4, and they're split into 4 groups here of 16 teams. So the Avalanche took down the Kings 4-0. The Wild took down the Stars 4-2, so they went 6. And the Wild, being the 3 seed, will face off against the 1-seeded Avalanche. Their series will start Tuesday, May 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. That is in the Western Conference. The Golden Knights, the top seed in the Western Conference in their pod, they defeated the Mammoth, who are up in Utah now. Little name change from the Arizona Coyotes to the Mammoth. Love their logo. They lost to the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, since they were an expansion team in Vegas, have made it to the postseason. They made it to the Stanley Cup Finals their first year. They've continued to be a contender when it comes to the postseason in the NHL. And so the Vegas Knights won their series 4-2, the one over the 4. So shout out to the Mammoth for pushing that 6 games in a 7-game series. And then the 3-seeded Anaheim Ducks, my squad, quack at home, baby. My Ducks took down the Edmonton Oilers, the 3-seed over the 2-seed in 6 games just to make me nervous. And so they won that one. They'll face the Golden Knights, the 1-seeded Golden Knights against the 3-seeded Ducks. Their series starts tonight. May the 4th be with you. That's right, baby. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. In the East, I know my fans a couple hours south will be happy of this. The Sabres won their pod. The top-seeded Sabres in their pod defeated the Boston Bruins, the 4-seed, 4-2 in 6 games in the best-of-7 series. They went 6. The Sabres will face off against the 3-seeded Montreal Canadiens, who took down the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are the parent team of the Syracuse Crunch. The Canadiens winning this over the Lightning in 7 games. They went the whole way, 4-3, and the Canadiens will take on the Sabres. Their series will begin Wednesday, May 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT and True TV. And then the 1-seeded Hurricanes of Carolina, the Carolina Hurricanes, and their pod took down the Ottawa Senators, the 4-seed, and they swept that series, the Hurricanes sweeping through the Senators 4-0. And then the Philadelphia Flyers faced off against the Pittsburgh Penguins in a battle of Pennsylvania. That battle of the two ends of Pennsylvania was won by Philadelphia, with Philadelphia, the 3-seed, taking down 2-seeded Pittsburgh in 6 games, 4-2, which has set up the 1-seeded Hurricanes taking on the 3-seeded Flyers, which will start tonight as the first series to open the next round of the Stanley Cup playoffs in the NHL, May 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, Hurricanes, Flyers in the East will start tonight, followed by in the West, the Knights versus the Ducks. And then on Tuesday in the West, we'll see the Avalanche and the Wild start their series. And on Wednesday in the East, we will see the Sabres host the Canadiens. So the Ducks will be the road team to start things off. The Wild will be the road team, the Canadiens and the Flyers. And ironically, every 1-seed advanced in their pod and every 3-seed advanced in their pod. So only 1s and 3s as we go forward here. Murph, so tell me your thoughts on the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know you like hockey, so where you at?
I do like hockey, and we are officially going to have a new representative from both conferences, as the Panthers did not make the postseason as the 2-time reigning Stanley Cup champions. And then the Edmonton Oilers, your Ducks take out the Oilers, who are the 2-time defending Western Conference champions. So we are going to guaranteed have a new matchup in the Stanley Cup final this year. So that'll be fun to watch. No New York teams are involved. The Devils missed the playoffs, the Rangers missed the playoffs, and the Islanders all missed the playoffs. So there's no New York team for me to root for in the NHL. But it's always cool to see Vegas do well. You know, because obviously their first year of existence, they made the Stanley Cup Finals and against, I believe that was the year the Capitals won. So they got to play the Capitals, and if I remember correctly, I think that series went 7. And obviously they fall to the Capitals, but end up winning a championship a few years later, which is pretty darn cool to see an expansion team go and win a championship as quickly as they did. But yeah, it's the Golden Knights are good. The Wild and the Avalanche. If you want to know something crazy, the first game of that series was last night. Yeah, 9-6 was the final score of that hockey game last night. Avalanche beating the Wild. So that is not a score that you expect to see in a hockey game.
Yeah.
So that was definitely pretty wild.
Oh, and part of me on that too, yes. So the second game is May 5th. First game, that's the only series. So that series started Colorado leading 1-0. So part of me on that. Game 2 is going to be this Tuesday. And then the Hurricanes Flyers, Carolina won the first game. So the second game is going to be tonight. So part of me on that. The 2 series that have not begun yet are the Golden Knights and the Ducks, and the Sabres and the Canadiens.
Yeah, hockey's weird, man. Like, you'll see game 1s happening when game 7s are happening.
Yeah.
So I've never understood that, and why they do that. But I guess it is. I mean, it is what it is. Like, obviously, I'm not the one that sets the schedule. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Carolina's been a team all year that's been, that's performed really, really well, and as have the Flyers. So I think that's going to be a fun series. Looking out west, I mean, I think that to me the two best teams in hockey are out west.
Yeah.
In the Canadians and not the Canadians, I'm sorry. The Avalanche and the Golden Knights. So to me, I look at those two teams and I think it's going to be tough for either of those teams to. I don't really see them losing. Maybe Vegas, but I definitely don't see the Avalanche losing anytime soon. So, Colorado, I expect to make a pretty deep run, and that'll definitely be fun to watch. But 9-6 is a bizarre score for a hockey game. That's more like a high scoring baseball game where there's a slugfest.
Yeah.
Let alone a hockey game where there's 15 goals scored. So, hats off to Colorado for putting up 9 goals and winning the game. But I mean, that's the best team in hockey right now. So, I fully expect them to win this series and potentially hoist the Stanley Cup in a few weeks.
Well, and as we look at these, I mean, Anaheim, you talk about high-scoring games. I mean, the Ducks had to find their way to score a bunch of goals in their series that they won over the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, you go back to that and look at what the Ducks had to do. I mean, I was watching this throughout, and these games were late-night games. The first game, they lost at Edmonton 4-3. Then they won at Edmonton 6-4. Then they won at home 7-4. 4-3 they won game 4. Then they lost game 5 on the road at Edmonton 4-1, and then they won the series 5-2. So you look at the amount of goals that were scored in the Edmonton Anaheim game. You got 7 goals scored, 10, 11, 7, 5, and 7. So only game 5 was the lower one. But you look at this, in every single match, one of the teams scored 4 or more goals. These were high-scoring games to have 4 or more goals scored by at least one team in every single matchup. And then you look at, like I said, game 2, 6-4, game 3, 7-4. I mean, you talk about having to score a bunch of goals and these feeling like baseball games. The series between Edmonton and Anaheim was exactly that. You could not score 3 goals and then just hold. You had to get 4 or more to be safe, and I mean that we saw that throughout the series. And I mean it was definitely. I was watching those games, being like, "Geez, well, thank goodness these teams can put up the offense." And there's only one game where the Ducks didn't do it. So
yeah, I mean, and that's a tough task to take down the Oilers, and they got the best player in the world on their team, Connor McDavid, and. It's one of those things where, like, when you're going to go play a guy like that and play a team like that, you got to bring your A game. And, I'm wondering if maybe this takes too much out of them and it makes for a less entertaining series in the conference semis, but I hope not, for your sake and for the Ducks' sake. But they got a tricky matchup.
yeah.
Like I said, the Golden Knights are good. Don't let that record fool you. That is a good hockey team. So even though they only won 39 games in the regular season, still 95 points, 17 overtime losses. It's a good team, right? Like don't take them lightly. The Knights also shouldn't take the Ducks lightly. But at the same time, like, it takes a lot out of you to knock off the Oilers. So I'd be a little worried about the Ducks in terms of what they can potentially do in this series. But, I still think they could win it. I would pick, gun to my head, I'd pick Vegas. But I'm just worried that the Ducks might have might have might have overdone it a little bit in the series against Edmonton, and that they kind of run out of gas a little bit against Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you go these long series, we look at the NBA that we were just talking about. I mean, some of these NBA Game 7s obviously just wrapped up last night for those of you watching live on Monday, May 4th, and they're already going into the next round. I mean, these teams that got to, like Oklahoma City, they got to sit and do treatment and wait and relax and, get massages and work out and stretch and do all these things they got to do and lift and whatnot. And then you got these other teams that are coming into it that, are banged up, beaten and bruised and just finished off their series in 7. And the East having the majority of those series go 7. So, I mean, you think about what that can do, and we'll see how teams bounce back to it. I mean, do they have enough gas? Do they have, enough in the tank to keep going and keep rocking and rolling? And hopefully they do. I mean, hopefully we're going to be able to see these teams do that. You don't want anybody to be in a position where now they can't give their full go because they won a longer series. But that's the thing. You want to get out of the series. You want to get out of them quick, because when you can get out of these series, you have the opportunity to rest and to get your body right, whereas these other teams are falling right into it. And like you said, I mean, the NHL finishes up one series, the NBA finishes up one series when there's another series already beginning with other teams elsewhere in the country, and that's just how it is, right? They got to get these games in to do the best of 7. It takes a while, right? So there's a lot that you got to put into this, and so, I mean, for me, as I look at, the Avalanche who swept their series, and, I look at the Hurricanes who swept theirs, you say, okay, are they in prime positioning because the Flyers had to go 6, because the Wild had to go 6. Now the Vegas Knights and the Anaheim Ducks both went 6. So there's an even playing field there. And then with the Sabres and the Canadiens went 7 and the Sabres went 6. So that's pretty even there. So really you look at the series and say the Avalanche and the Hurricanes, who are already the 1 seed in those pods, are they even more better off because they didn't have 2 more games that they had to play on the ice. So we'll see that, as some people are probably picking them anyways, just based on the fact that they're the top seed, and arguably the Avalanche are the best team in the entire country of the East and the West put together. So Murph, feet to the fire. Let's go down the line here. Avalanche, Wild, Knights, Ducks, Sabres, Canadiens, Hurricanes, Flyers. Pick your winners. I'll pick mine.
I mean, I kind of already said Avalanche.
Yeah.
In there, I genuinely think they're the favorite to win the whole thing. I'm still gonna take Vegas. I still think that series could go 6 or 7. But I'm gonna go with Vegas. I just think they're just the better team. Sabres, Canadiens, do not count out Montreal. That is a good hockey team. They haven't won a Stanley Cup in 30 or 40 years. And they've got the most out of any team in NHL history. One of the original 6. So do not count them out. I'm going to pick Montreal in this series, even though I think Buffalo's going to give them hell. And then Carolina and Philly. I don't think Philly's that good. I mean, they had a decent year, but I don't necessarily love their roster. I don't necessarily love their team.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm going Carolina. Basically, I know it's a little bit of a cop out picking 3 of the ones, 3 of the better team, 3 of the top seeds, but I can't justify taking any, maybe the Ducks, but like I said, I feel like that series against Edmonton probably took a lot out of them. So that's why I went Golden Knights there. Avalanche are just too good. But like I said, don't count the Canadiens out. I'm picking them. They could easily make a run. They genuinely could.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I want to double check here just so that I'm not screwing that part up. When their last championship was 1993. So it's been over 30 years since the Canadiens have won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
They have 24 for the record in NHL history, so they have the most out of anybody. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get lucky number 25. But I do see them winning this series. I think they're a good team. So I would probably say Canadians in 7 over Buffalo. And then I would probably take Carolina in 6 over the Flyers.
So Murph giving his picks for the NHL second round. Just so you know, everything is up on X right now, the former Twitter, at CallDT. That's CALLDT. Make sure to follow me there and vote in our polls throughout the year. The polls are up for every NBA playoff matchup of the Eastern and Western Conference semifinals and every NHL playoff matchup for the second round in the East and the West. Votes have already come in for the Thunder Lakers, for the Cavs Pistons, for the Knicks and Sixers. We just put up the NHL voting, so you can now vote in those polls. And of course, you can also vote in the NBA ones I mentioned, as well as the Spurs Timberwolves series. That's all up on X at CallDT, CALLDT. Who do you think is going to win the entire series? So, my series winners, I'm going to go with the Avalanche over the Wild. I think the Avalanche might sweep this thing. Their name is very fitting. I'm going to go with my Ducks. Quack at home, baby. I got the Ducks going. So
that's pretty good.
Thank you. So I've done the duck call when I'm down in Florida, and the ducks will actually swim over to me and sometimes walk my way. So I hope I'm not doing a mating call for the Ducks, but I am.
Oh, boy.
I was like, hey, guys, no, I don't have any food or anything else. But, yeah, so I'm going to
go.
You're
not the duck lady.
I'm not. So I'm going to go with the Ducks over the Knights. This series is going to go 6 or 7, but I'm going to keep with my Ducks, and we're going to quack at home one more time. So with that being said, I'm also going to go Sabres Canadians is a tough one for me. I want to go Buffalo.
That's going to be a good series.
I know. I want to go Buffalo, but I think the Canadians are going to pull it out. I'm going to say Canadians in 6. So I'm going to pick the Canadians. And then the Hurricanes and the Flyers. I'm going to say Hurricanes in... I don't know. I want to give Philly 2, but I feel like Hurricanes could do it in 5. Okay, so I'm going to say Avalanche, I'm going to say sweep or 5, somewhere around there. I'm thinking maybe a sweep for the Avalanche, but maybe 4-1, so maybe I'll say 5. Ducks, I'm going to say in 7. Canadians in 6. I'm going to say Hurricanes in 5. So,
okay.
No disrespect to Philly. I don't know. I feel like it might be.
No. That's my job. That's my job to hate on Philly.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. I don't know why. I want to give them 6, but I'm feeling 5, and I got to go with my gut. So I'm going to say 4-1 for the series there for the Hurricanes of Carolina to take down the Flyers of Philadelphia. Murph and I will take one final step aside. We'll come back to wrap things up with baseball talk as we remember a legend this morning in New York, and then we head to another borough and talk about Murph's Mets because, well, I just want to see.
Well, thanks guys for having me. I'll be back in 2 weeks. No, we can talk about that. It's okay.
Yeah, so we'll be back right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us.
Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner of the Baked Potato Express. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse, a food truck battle, Battle of the Wings. I do the state fair. They're ordering from a fresh food truck that is making real food and happy to make it and wants them to enjoy every bite. We season every potato before they go in the oven and then they bake for an hour, and when they come out we season them again after we cut them. We use real butter, real cheese, real ingredients, so it's all really good food and people love it. We have a lot of returning customers and regulars that we see very often. The customers really make a big impact, and this is a big food truck community. The events here are super busy. It's like in my blood. I like building things and creating stuff that people love, and me and my friends are the ones that run the truck. So it's we keep it's a tight circle in there, and we have like a family sort of oriented truck, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it, and people love our food, so it ends up making it well for everybody. You can contact the Baked Potato Express at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com or the Baked Potato Express on Instagram or TikTok. We are very happy to be partnered up with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as the exclusive sponsor of the Annoying Moment of the Week. And be sure to try DT's baked potato creation at all of our food trucks. The Baked Potato Express. Let's get baked.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Head to GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, and go be a big kid. Who doesn't want to get closer to the teams that they love? We talk about teams and players all throughout the year here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And then you have the opportunity to go to GG Cards and Breaks and open up a pack or a box of hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, and maybe find your favorite player. Maybe find an autograph, a rare card, something you want to keep for your personal collection or something you want to sell. Bring it to a trade night with GG Cards and Breaks. And there's so many great things there. Not only that, they also have your trading card games, your Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, Disney Lorcana, and they have all the supplies you need to travel with your cards, showcase your cards, and to keep them safe. Go be a big kid every week at GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6, Sundays open 10 to 5 right off of Teal Ave. Big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. Go and find Chick-fil-A today on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. You can't miss it. Giant brick building, double drive-through, massive parking lot. You can order in the drive-through on the app, or you can go inside. They also have catering and fundraising opportunities at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. You can find out more by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and clicking on the Chick-fil-A Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard logo. And, of course, their Nostalgia, giving you the Jalapeno Ranch Club Chicken Sandwich in original, grilled, or spicy, and those strawberry hibiscus beverages, all available in Chick-fil-A's menu that brings the new and the nostalgia together for Nostalgia right there on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. We'll see you there. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Murphalation Station for the Nation is here with us on Mondays. And, of course, inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, hanging out with you, Great Lakes Honda City, the only place I've gotten my vehicle for 11-plus years. Go over to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Monday through Saturday in Liverpool, New York. And, of course, go shop online and see their inventory at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Appreciate you all over there at Great Lakes Honda City, the former Honda City of Liverpool. With that being said, we have one final piece of today's broadcast, and we will head to the boroughs for that. And first and foremost, we will go to the borough of the Bronx, the BK, or the BX, pardon me. Rep BX, the BK is Brooklyn. So we'll go to the BX here, to the Bronx, and we will remember John Sterling, legendary Yankees broadcaster who passed away at the age of 87, which to me is young in today's world. So we hope the best for, obviously, all the family members and the loved ones and everyone who John Sterling touched in his lifetime. And, of course, we wish him, pray for him, safe passage to heaven. John Sterling, the radio voice of the New York Yankees for parts of 36 seasons, passed away at 87 years old, and that was announced here this morning, right before the show, actually, right around 8:10 a.m. Eastern Time. And so he was on the wonderful calls for the New York Yankees, a radio announcer. We know when it comes to, I know this when it comes to commentary and play-by-play, it's how I started my professional career at Marywood University. And I know the beauty of it, the romance of it, the incredible opportunity, and how very few people get to ever do this. And John Sterling did it for so long. He had undergone heart bypass surgery this winter and was attended by healthcare aides at his home in Edgewater, New Jersey. After the procedure, he called 5,420 regular season games and 211 postseason games for the Yankees when he retired in April 2024, just after the season's start. He broadcast 5,060 consecutive games from September 1989 through July 2019, after being with the Yankees as a pregame host. John Sterling came out of retirement to call Yankees games during the 2024 postseason. Now, WFAN said in a statement, quote, "We are devastated to hear about the passing of John Sterling, a WFAN and Yankees radio icon whose voice was synonymous with an entire generation of Yankee fandom," end quote. Sterling was on the air for 24 Yankees postseason trips, 7 World Series appearances, and 5 World Series titles. Now, he was known for his signature "The Yankees Win" victory call and his personalized home run calls. Sterling spent his last 20 seasons with the Yankees working alongside Susan Waldman. Now, Major League Baseball said in a statement, quote, "Through his unique style and passionate play-by-play calls, Sterling endeared himself to generations of players and fans as radio voice of the Yankees from 1989 to 2024. His signature punctuation of Yankees victories include calling the final out of 5 World Series championships." Think about that. You get chills. He called the final out of 5 World Series championships for the Yankees. Sterling's call for a player's home run became as treasured a part of Yankees' identity as initial set of pinstripes or a championship ring. As rookies prepared for debuts and former opponents arrived in trades, fans speculated how he would label the newcomer's first long ball. From "Bernie Goes Boom," "Burn Baby Burn" for Bernie Williams, to "It's a Jeter Jolt" for Derek Jeter, to "It's an A-Bomb" from A-Rod for Alex Rodriguez, the Giambino for Giambino for the Jason Giambi call, and a Thrilla from Godzilla for Hideki Matsui. Sterling created personal stamps resonating from the clubhouse to the bleachers. I want to thank the Associated Press and ESPN for the report that they put out this morning that I got to pull these quotes from and share them with you, thanks to the work of the AP and ESPN. John Sterling, from one broadcaster to another, from one commentator to another, from somebody that values this world and knows that if you call one game, one moment, one quarter, one inning, one pitch, one out, one shot, one goal, it stays with you forever. So to John, who called over 5,000 of these things, we honor you, we celebrate you, and you are just as much worthy of the pinstripes as anybody out there. May you rest in peace. May your loved ones be at peace here on earth, and though this is a tough time for them, may you live on with them and them with you, because heaven and earth are not that far away, thanks to Jesus dying for us, destroying our death, and rising to restore our life, so that we all, you included, John, may have everlasting life. I pray that God's perpetual light shines upon you, now and forever and always, and that your loved ones up in heaven greet you with open arms, and that is a beautiful moment for you to celebrate paradise with them forever and ever, and for your loved ones here on earth to only be just beginning, and to have a life that is truly remarkable, amazing, wonderful in their path back home to heaven themselves someday, where they get to see you and hear your famous call to each and every single one of the ones you love. John, we will never forget you. We will appreciate you. And thanks to this world that saves voices and saves videos, we will never lose you. God bless you, John. Anything you want to say? Murph?
Yeah, I mean, John Sterling's one of the legends. As a Mets fan, the Yankees win was probably the single most annoying call I ever had to hear in my life, but it was because I'm a Mets fan that doesn't like the Yankees. So, it's nothing. Obviously, John Sterling was in the booth for a lot of wins, for a lot of championships, for a lot of Hall of Famers. And he's got some calls that will live on forever. He also has a call from a Mets game. I think it was in maybe the 70s or 80s, like maybe earlier on in his career, where there was a pitcher that was pinch hitting for the Braves and hit a home run in the 18th inning, and he just like lost it. And I've gone back and listened to that call, and I just think it was honestly so crazy that it was funny how with how crazy it was. But I always thought it was kind of cool with the little calls that he would do for everybody hitting a home run. I thought it was a little corny, but Yankee fans loved it, and he always came up with something different for everybody. Like he had All Rise, Here Comes the Judge for Aaron Judge, and the A-Bomb from A-Rod, and his ones for Giancarlo Stanton, and everybody else that he's had over the years. So, those have all been pretty cool. Yankee fans love it. He was, I honestly didn't realize he was 87 years old. I thought he was younger than that.
Yeah.
So when I saw this morning that he was gone at 87, I was like, wow, like I didn't realize he was 87 years old.
Yeah, I think like Jerry Seinfeld's like 72 years old. And
no.
So, yeah, he just had a birthday. What? And I'm pretty
no
confident,
way.
Yeah, that he is 72. Yeah, he's 70. He just turned 72 on
no
April 29th.
Freaking way.
Yeah, I mean, and who is it? It's, oh my gosh.
Sure doesn't look it.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to forget. Dustin Hoffman. So I think Dustin Hoffman's in his 80s. He's 88. Dustin Hoffman looks like he's 60. So like, but I mean, they're all up there. Robert Downey Jr. Or Robert Downey Jr., not Robert Downey Jr. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci.
I mean, how old's Clint Eastwood? He's in his 90s, isn't he?
So, Clint Eastwood. So he's 95.
Jeez.
He was born May 31st, 1930. So he will be 96.
He's still going. Good for him.
He's still rocking and rolling. Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. Like, when I think about, who I grew up on and whatnot, to think of how old they are. Robert De Niro is 82. And I slipped in when I said I meant Robert De Niro and I said Robert Downey Jr., but now I want to know Robert Downey Jr.'s age. Robert Downey Jr. is 61. So,
wow.
God bless them all. And shout out to my neighbor. I was talking to my neighbors yesterday, fantastic people, and we were talking, and my neighbor's wife, she goes, I told her how old I was because I turned 40, 6 months ago, and I never feel like I'm 40. She's like, really? She goes, I would have pegged you. She's like, I'm 34. I would have put you like maybe 36, like just a little bit older than me. And then Anthony, when I was talking to him and his wife, Nicole, Anthony was like, yeah, he said, you look good. So I always love that. I love when somebody guesses you younger than what I forget. I'm 40 all the time, but Robert Downey Jr. in his 60s to Clint Eastwood in his 90s to Dustin Hoffman in his 80s and Jerry Seinfeld 72. God bless them all, because Jerry Seinfeld looks like he's maybe 50 years old. So, I mean, and I just saw him. I saw him last year here in Syracuse, and I'm like, what is he, like 56, 57? So, God bless them all, for sure.
I mean, the thing with John Sterling, though, is like just in general, his voice was iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, me not being a Yankees fan doesn't take away from the fact that, like, I would occasionally watch, like he was the voice of Yankeeography on Yes Network, and I would occasionally I would watch, like, I know way too much about the history of the Yankees for a diehard Mets fan. It's probably not necessarily a bad thing for the history of baseball, because a lot of the history of baseball has to do with the New York Yankees. And And you watch those Yankeeographies, and he's narrating.
Yeah.
So like his voice is synonymous with the history of the Yankees, and the authenticity that he was able to use in those was always something that I found really cool. And um you know it he's a guy that, I mean, the Yankees have been spoiled, man.
Yeah.
Yankee fans have been spoiled with their broadcasters over the years. I mean, they had Mel Allen forever. They have, some people don't like him. I do. They got Michael Kay in the booth for Yes Network for TV. They had John Sterling in the booth in the radio forever. You had probably the most legendary public address announcer ever in Bob Shepard, who passed in, I believe, a day or two before George Steinbrenner in 2010. So they've had some legendary voices that have been calling games for them and being involved in the stadium for as long as they have. And you're starting to see announcers, I think, starting to focus on their health a little bit more.
Yeah.
Obviously Howie Rose from the Mets is going to be retiring at the end of the year on the radio side, and over the course of the last 3 years, New York sports are going to be have lost, or will be losing, some of their iconic radio voices, and it's sad. And Howie Rose, I believe, also used to do New York Islanders games for a while. He doesn't do them anymore, but on that aspect, for like, as a Mets fan, that's sad. I mean, Howie's 72, so he's getting up there too. He's had some health problems over the last few years. I know at the end of his career, John Sterling had some health issues. He retired somewhat abruptly because of health issues. And from what I kind of read into on some of these broadcasters, they kind of think like they want to just keep going until they physically can anymore, which makes all the sense in the world. Because if you look at a guy like Vin Scully, who he broadcasted until he was in his 90s.
Well, and Vin Scully, he did stuff
almost
for the American,
70 years of Dodgers games.
I mean, he did the American Conference stuff. He was doing stuff.
Vin Scully did?
Yeah. I
didn't know that.
He was doing things. Yeah, he was the special guest at one of the American kickoff events in Rhode Island, at least one of them. But, I mean, you look back at Vin's history. I mean, Vin was lending his voice to broadcasts almost like right up to like his last days.
Year and a half before he died.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at, and people say, when I talk about it, I said, I'm going to retire when God takes me home. I said, why would I give up speaking, and why would I give up sharing stories and making people?
It's the reason Joe Paterno never wanted to retire.
Yeah,
Joe Paterno always said, the second I retire, I'll be gone in a year.
Well,
because he's not going to know what to do with himself.
Well, my thing is, I love this. I love bringing people together. I knew I was dating the wrong person when she was like, I'm going to retire. I don't know. She told me when I forget when breakups happen, Murph, I just mindless information. I put it in, it comes out of my head because you can only have so much and it goes in the trash. And it's no disrespect to them. It's just like, you're not a part of my life anymore. I wish you the best. I pray you the best. I want you to have a fantastic life, but I don't need to keep this information because you're not my gal. So she was like, well, I'll be on a beach somewhere, while you're working. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice and supportive. But, to me, I'm going to keep rocking and rolling. I mean, I do what I love and I love what I do. And you want to be with someone that supports that. You want to be with someone that values that. And you look at how strangers value people like John Sterling. So I mean, it's not like he passes away and his friends miss him and his family misses him and whatnot. It's, generations miss him. People will think about him, learn about him, know about him. There's kids that are being born right now that are 2 years old, 5 years old, 15 years old, that are going to get videos and audio recordings from their parents and grandparents being like, oh, you're a Yankee fan? Well, listen to this guy. Listen to what we used to grow up on. Listen to what we used to hear. So, I mean, it lives forever, and John Sterling, Vin Scully, all these people. I mean, you're a time capsule. And shout out to Dickie V, who's fought the good fight, and may he continue to be well and stay well. Stuart Scott, who, was an inspiration to me. And I always say Stuart Scott was the best. My thing on Stuart Scott was one of the best mentors I ever had that didn't know he was my mentor. And so, these people like John Sterling leave a legacy forever, and God bless them for it, and God bless them in heaven and their loved ones here on earth. I want to make a note here. In Jesus' most precious name we pray. Amen. I want to make a note here on two things that throw you off. The Magic last night were an 8 seed pushing the 1-seeded Pistons to a 7-game series. This morning, they fired their head coach.
Doesn't make any sense.
Jamal Mosley's been fired for getting the Magic closer to tasting sweet freedom in the NBA playoffs more than they have in many, 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 many years. They were one of the worst, if not the worst team in the East. Multiple seasons are toward the bottom. This morning, after blowing a 3-1 series lead, their head coach gets fired. I don't really agree with that. And speaking of the Colorado Avalanche, and hopefully we don't have a real avalanche because that is horrendous and terrible, but I just wanted to let people know, as we're talking about the Avalanche this morning and how good they are, Colorado is expecting 2 feet of snow in their mountains, and we're in May. So
the
two
Mets are
things that
playing the
don't make sense.
Rockies this week.
Yeah, two things that don't make sense. 2 feet of snow in May, unless you live in Colorado or upstate New York, or the North Pole.
Or Vermont.
But
or Alaska.
2 feet of snow in May, and Jamal Mosley being fired less than 24 hours after his team almost takes out the top team in the East. Your thoughts?
Maybe it's because they blew the 3-1. Maybe it's because they blew the 3-1 series lead. I don't know, but
okay, but you got to the playoffs.
Unless the writing was on the wall before the postseason even started.
Right. But here the thing is like you made the playoffs. Unless this guy is doing something like that's unsavory in the background, and this is your way of getting rid of him because he's doing something he shouldn't be doing, right? Sometimes when we see coaches come in and they fade quick, like there was a coach that I've known for a while that came onto a team, was there not even a calendar year, and then he disappeared. And then after the fact, you hear, oh, well, this was alleged and this was alleged, and you're like, okay, well, if any of that's true, I understand. If it's not true, then, he probably got a lawsuit on his hands. But, you see these things like Mosley, this hasn't been a long tenure, but I guess
5 years.
The thing that I expect more in May, being an upstate New Yorker, is snow than seeing Mosley fired for giving the Magic their best season that they've had in a really long time, probably since Dwight Howard. So, yeah, I'm a little thrown off because they got a ton of talent. I would imagine they're going to be back. I would imagine they're going to get better. I would imagine they're going to be better than an 8 seed next year. So, my best to Jamal Mosley and the Orlando Magic figuring out who their next coach is going to be. I don't think the fans waking up this morning maybe expected that, but that's what they got. Just like the 2 feet of snow you're supposed to get in Colorado today.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if the Mets actually are able to play that series. Who even knows?
And I do want to make a note here, speaking of the Mets, perfect segue. The Yankees, talking about John Sterling, have the best record in the American League East. The Mets have the worst record in the National League East. The Yankees are 23-11. The Mets are almost the exact opposite at 12-22. Your thoughts, Murph, on the tale of two boroughs as the Yankees lead their East Division. The Mets are the last team in their East Division, and their records, like I said, are almost completely flipped.
I mean, they just took 2 out of 3 from the Angels.
There you go.
So that's something. No, it's. I mean, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies last week. They're going back. They're going and playing in Colorado this week. It's gonna be freezing out there. So, I also look at this and, Carlos Mendoza got a vote of confidence the other day. Basically saying he's not getting fired anytime soon. Realistically, somebody needs to take responsibility for this. Somebody has to go. They need to change something. Look, I'm not saying it's all Carlos Mendoza's fault, because it's not. David Stearns put this team together. I'm also not blaming it on David Stearns because, Pete Alonso has not been good with the Orioles. Edwin Diaz was terrible for the Dodgers, and now he's out for 3 months. Yeah, Brandon Nimmo's been decent for the Rangers, but that was never a year one move. I think the biggest issue is the guys he did bring in. Jorge Polanco has been hurt. Bo Bichette hasn't been very good. Now Lindor's hurt. Now Ronnie Mauricio fractures his thumb sliding head first into first base, which also so stupid. Can we just outlaw that so that nobody hurts themselves diving into first base anymore? To me, Mendoza's got to go. And again, it's not all his fault.
Yeah.
But the same issues from last season have continued to persist. Bullpen mismanagement, starters not being competitive, hitters' approach to the plate's been terrible. I mean, Kodai Senga's on the IL. You may never pitch for the Mets again. David Peterson has been awful. He's even going to get an opener today before he pitches. He's been horrible. The only bright spots, Clay Holmes has been great. Nolan McLean's been pretty good. Freddie Peralta's been meh. Good, not great.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the rotation has been horrible. It's like you got 2 out of 5 days where your starts are going to be non-competitive. You got Christian Scott up from AAA right now who hasn't been pitching well in his second stint in the big leagues. It might be time for Jonah Tong again. He pitched great in AAA last week, and maybe he gets another shot. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know what is wrong with this team. Obviously, Lindor's out for a couple of weeks. Soto's back and doing Soto things, but it's not necessarily enough to keep the team moving. Carson Ben just looked horrendous at the plate. He's playing elite defense, so I think that's part of the reason he hasn't been sent down. I genuinely don't know what the plan is here. Now with Lindor and now your backup shortstop out, Bo Bichette's being forced to move back over to short when you sign him to play third base.
Yeah.
You almost don't have a choice in having him play there because he's the only guy on the team that actually could play the position, even though he was statistically one of the worst defensive shortstops in baseball the last few years. I don't know where this team's going. I don't know what to expect. But ultimately, it's not fun. It's rough. I don't know who's in a worse situation right now, us or the Phillies. It might be us. Yeah, we're 2 games worse than them in the standings, but it hasn't looked great for them either, which is a little bit surprising. I'm sitting here on May 4th and already thinking, yeah, this season's over. Who are we trading at the deadline? I don't know. Maybe they make a move to try to be more competitive before in the month of May, and then if it doesn't work out, you trade them in July.
Yeah.
We'll see. But right now, Mets suck.
It's been tough. Definitely been tough for the Mets. And, we're early on in the season, 162 games to be played, and teams are around 34 games in, 35 games in, somewhere around there. So there's 130, almost 130 games to be played in the regular season left, 120 plus. So we'll see how it goes. The Yankees lead their division, closely followed by the Rays in the AL East. In the AL Central, the Tigers and the Guardians are locked in place and even right now at 18 and 17. Chicago White Sox are a game and a half back of them. In the West, the Athletics, who do not have a city of home, they are the top team above the Rangers, the Mariners, the Astros, and then the Angels. In the National League East, the Braves continue to lead the way. Now they're so far ahead of anybody else. The closest team to them in the NL East are the Marlins at 8.5 games back. Then the Nationals.
Go figure that one.
Yeah, then the Nationals at 9. then the Phillies at 10.5, and then the Mets
Best
at
record in
12.5.
baseball, too.
Yeah, crazy. Shout out to the Atlanta Braves, who shot up the record here in the win-loss column on the win side of things after having a not great season last year, missing the postseason. In the NL Central, the Chicago Cubs lead with 2 games above the Cardinals and the Reds. And in the NL West, the Dodgers lead the Padres just by a half a game, followed by my Diamondbacks 4.5 back. The Rockies are above the Giants, 7.5 games back are the Rockies. The Giants are 8 games back. So Rockies come out of last place and may take advantage of the fact that it's going to be cold and there'll be a lot of snow potentially in the area. So with all that being said, we thank you for taking a trip around the country with us today with the NBA, the NHL, and Major League Baseball all around this country. We appreciate all of you fans up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. Thank you for being with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and then some on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com has over 2,000 broadcasts for you, and of course, you can also find us on mixlr.com /WakeUpCallDT. Murph, as always, I appreciate your time. I thank you for being here, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Yes, sir. Obviously, I won't be here next week because of work, but I'll be back in 2 weeks, and we will have some. Maybe the Mets will actually be relevant by that point. I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll talk with you soon, bud.
Sounds good. So for Murph, have a great day. We'll talk with you soon. Stay safe and be well.
Yes, sir.
Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, we thank you for being inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And of course, they're always open online to take a look at their new and used vehicles and everything that you can buy and lease by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. You could find Wake Up Call on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. You can also ask Alexa to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or your Google Home device, and they will do that for you as well by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks to our incredible team of wonderful partners in Central and Upstate New York: Great Lakes Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, Brian's Landing of Jamesville, Pizza Man, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Myers Creek with 2 locations, one on the countryside on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia, the other one in the Syracuse Inner Harbor, right by downtown, as well as Destiny USA on 720 Van Rensselaer Street, and by the new aquarium being built here in Syracuse. Chick-fil-A in Cicero, many thanks to them. Gray's Craze of Clay, New York. Avicoli's, Game Point Sports Complex, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, Willow Rock Pizza Pub, Mother's Cupboard, and of course, our newest partner, the Baked Potato Express, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. The Bearcats are with us every Tuesday during Bearcat Time at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, featuring the Bearcats student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni throughout the years. You can find it all by going to youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on the show, I want to thank you for tuning in inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and of course for Mon Paz Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Thank you to Brendan Murphy, speaking with us about the NBA, the NHL, and the MLB today, as well as food and more. Speaking of food, welcome to the family one more time to the Baked Potato Express. If you would like them at your event, email them at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com. That's thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com. You can also find them on Facebook, The Baked Potato Express, on TikTok, and on Instagram, all under The Baked Potato Express. Thank you to Dylan Husted and the team at The Baked Potato Express. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say to you, God bless. No stress. Do your best. Find all of our content announcing the Baked Potato Express with videos and pictures by going to Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. I hope you have a beautiful day. Be kind, be courteous, be understanding, show love, show empathy, show gratitude, and know that God has your back. I love you all.